Hi, welcome back to the class of literary criticism. Today we are going to learn the psychoanalytic theory. Though it is a part of psychological branch, but its connection is there with the criticism, which is connected with the dream theory of Sigmund Freud and literary criticism. Psychoanalysis is a method of treating somebody's mental problems or disorders by making them aware of experiences in their early life and tracing the connection between these and their present behavior of feelings. It is a new science which emerged in the 20th century. It has immensely influenced literary creations which are to great extent the products of the mental encounter with a social, physical or metaphysical reality. The conceptual tools developed by psychology and psychoanalysis were so liberally used by literary critics that the moment almost demanded a redefining of the very nature and function of literature. The psychological approach to literature emerged as the critical method capable of broadening the scope of literary study by opening new avenues. Psychoanalytic criticism owes its origin to Sigmund Freud, an Australian psychologist, and its development to Jacques Lacan, a French psychoanalyst. Theories and practices of Sigmund Freud provide the foundation of psychoanalytic criticism. According to Freud, the impulse to avoid all unpleasure, that is, to increase pleasure, governs all psychic activity and all other activities that are promoted by these wishes for pleasure. This is what he calls the pleasure principle. Freud was the first who suggests the most mental activity is unconscious and the primary source of psychic energy, libido, is sexual. Freud divides the human mind systematically in three zones which he called as human behavior zones, and they are id, which is identity, he called as unconscious. Id is the storehouse for brain desires. For this part of the mind, he names the unconscious. In this part of psyche or mind, our hidden desires, ambitions, fears and passions are stored. According to Freud, it is the conscious that evidences itself through slip of the tongue, dreams and irrational behavior that motivates most of our actions. The second one, that is ego, he called as conscious personality. The rational, instinctual, unknown and unconscious part of the psyche Freud calls the id, whereas the rational, logical working part he called the ego. The third one, superego, which he called as conscience. A third part, superego, which acts like an internal censor, causing us to make more judgments in the light of social pressure. Another important notion in Freud is the idea of repression, which is the storehouse of all unfulfilled desires after traumatic past events and experiences that are forced out of conscious, preconscious into the realm of unconscious. This storehouse of trace has a strong influence on human action. Which such repressed feelings are sublimated, they become noble or great and receive wide acceptance and credibility. Freud explained dreams and neurotic symptoms as the result of drives rising from the id. In this view, driveness rising from the id are repressed by the ego and superego, but they finally find their expressions in displaced forms. Dreams are of great importance in Freudian psychology. In his book, The Interpretation of Dreams, Freud says dreams are symbolic fulfillment of unconscious wishes and they are always symbolic. I unquote. Dreams in Freud theories is a made of wish fulfillment and plays a crucial role in maintaining the psychic balance of human being. Freud says that dream shows or reveals things as literature does, or like literature, because according to Plato, when writer writes any writing script or any artist draw his art, he goes in the frenzy mood, that is unconscious mood in a conscious condition. Dream is opposite to it, which is conscious mood in unconscious situation. The purpose of work of art, like the purpose of the dream, is the secret gratification of a forbidden infinite wishes. This is the reason why literary critics have accepted the theory of Sigmund Freud as a literary critics. This is the reason why literary critics have great interest in the Freudian theory of analytic and its interpretation as a literary criticism. According to Freud, human behavior is motivated by sexuality. In our early childhood, all of us go through three overlain phases. The first phase he called as oral phase. By sucking our mother's breast to be fed, our sexuality or libido is activated. The second phase he called as an anal phase. In the second stage or anal stage, the anus becomes the object of pleasure when the child learns the delight of defecation. The third phase that he called as a phallic phase. In this stage, the child's sexual desire or the libido is directed towards the genitals. Next concept he defined, that is Oedipus complex theory. Freud also talks about Oedipus complex, means the male infant sexual desire to remove the father and become the partner of the mother. In the Freud model, dream analysis is important because he considers dream as the main outlet for repressed desire. Dream analysis study is displacement of wishes and condensation. The analysis of dream is based on general assumption of transference and projection. Literature is considered to be something like dreams communicates only symbolically or obliquely. A literary piece is taken as a concise or the overt, and the interpretation of covert or the unconscious is the aim of psychoanalytic criticism. The unconscious is that of the author or the character in the work of unveiling. The psychodrama is the function of psychoanalytic criticism. Jacques Lacan, called as the French psychoanalyst, Lacan is interested in rewriting, reinterpreting classical Freudian psychoanalysis in the light of post-structuralist theories. According to Lacan, the unconscious is the structure like language, while Freud's psychoanalysis focuses on the author or the character in the literary work. Lacan focuses on the language of the text. In the Lacanian model, the unconscious comes into existence only with the individual's access to language. The concept of unconscious, which is called by Plato in literary form, is the frenzy mood. The frenzy mood in which the writer or any artist go in the third world where he himself is unconscious. In the dream theory, in a sleeping mood, the human mind goes to conscious level. This is the connection of dream theory with a literature. The consciousness is organized around the incredible signifier. The unconsciousness is the structure like language, and the dream is structure like the sentence. In this sense, Lacan is a post-structuralist critical writer. Another important notion in the Lacan is the concept of lack. The individual lacks something at birth itself. We come into the world in fragmentary conditions. The first stage in the growth and the development of the child is the mirror stage. This occurs usually between 6 months and 18 months in the infant's life, when the child sees its own reflection in the mirror and begins the mapping operation and conceives of itself as unified being separated from the reset of the world. Before this, when the sense of the self is not acquired, the child exits in the real world. Lacan term the imaginary. It is the pre-language stage where child imitates parents or seniors surrounding him. In this stage, there is no distinction between the self and the others, but there is a kind of total identification with the mother. The mirror stage is a pre-linguistic stage, which towards the close of which the child enters into the language system. The new order into which the child enters is called by Lacan the symbolic stage. In short, Lacan resets Freudian notions in post-structuralist terms. Psychoanalytic criticism, whether the Freudian or Lacanian, helps us in our critical assessment of literary work in many ways. Psychoanalytic criticism, like another school of criticism, has its merit as well as the pitfalls. To study a piece of work has to study the mind of another and the background of the age to which he or she belongs. Psychology helps the reader to understand the mind of the author, and through the latter, psychoanalytic criticism is a little unfair to the fair sex. It is this because it examines from male point of view and highlights the fallacies. Literature is merely an expression of one's sexual desire, nor it is the repression of it under social pressure. It is about inner social pressure. It is about inner beauty. so it cannot be interpreted always by psychoanalytic theory. Thus, psychoanalytic criticism emphasizes author and forgets the reader and libido and unconscious mind. Psychoanalytic criticism has nothing much to say about the artistic forms. Whatever may be the limitations of psychoanalytic criticism, a large number of contemporary thinkers, including post-structuralists and feminists, have acknowledged their debate to Freud, and they continue to interpret his work according to changing circumstances and interest. And this theory becomes a part of literary criticism. Thank you.